A very good morning, students. As we have started with the 9th standard science, right? So let us start a new chemistry chapter, that is atoms and the molecules. So right from your lower classes, you have bit idea about the atoms and molecules, right? So this year we are going to discuss in detail about the atoms. What is the meaning, right? What about the molecules, atomic mass, how to write the chemical formulas, what is the meaning of mole. These are all the concepts, and who are all the scientists, how they discovered the atoms. So that all in detail we are going to discuss this year in the chemistry chapter, that is atoms and the molecules, right? So last year you have studied about the atoms, students. As you know, what is the meaning of atom? What is an atom? The smallest particle. The smallest particle of an element we are going to call as the atom. So let us start our journey right from the matter. What do you mean by matter? Any substance which has mass and can occupy the space. We are going to call it as a matter, right? So any substance which has a mass and can occupy the space. Okay, fine. So that matter, if you start dividing, and at last we will come to know it might be made up of only one kind of atoms, or it may be different kinds of atoms. And those atoms also, if you further divide, we will get a smallest particle, that we will call it as an atom, right? So this matter concept, right from the ancient time, ancient Indians, they said about the matter and how the matter is made up of. Not only ancient Indians, Greek philosophers also supported to ancient Indians. So both together what they said, matter is made up of very small particle, that is called kana. We are going to call atom, students. The smallest particle is called atom. In that time what they said it is made up of the smallest particles called kana. And they said this kana as a paramanu also. Anu and paramanu means the smallest particles of the substance, right? So this kana concept was said by one of the Indian philosopher, Maharishi Kanada. Maharishi Kanada, he said about the kana concept. So after him, so many scientists, they studied about the matter made up of what it is called, right? Particle, kana, is it made up of what? So many scientists, they discovered, they tried to know. One of the scientists called Pakudha, it may be the Democritus, it may be Leucippus. So like this, so many scientists we will get, students, who are all, they wanted and they tried to know about the smallest particle of the matter, right? So this is the introduction to the lesson atoms and molecules. As the journey started, then they are telling about the law of chemical combination. Law of chemical combination. So this law of combination is having two main laws. Law of chemical combination is having the two laws. One is conservation of the mass, conservation of a mass. Okay. The second law is law of constant proportion. Law of proportion. Hope till the end you can see students that side. Yes, okay, 1 second. Alright. So, law of chemical combination includes two types of the laws. One is called conservation of the mass, law of conservation or conservation of mass. The second one, law of constant proportions. What the law says? See students, in the previous classes already we have discussed about the chemical reactions. When two or more substances react with each other to form a new substance, they are going to form a product. So nothing but we can call it as law of chemical combination. When two or more substances will combine chemically to form a new substance, nothing but to form a product. That is called as law of conservation, law of chemical combination. With this law we find two laws, that is law of conservation. Who gave this law of conservation? Lavoisier, the scientist Lavoisier, who said us about the conservation. What is this conservation? Imagine students, you have two substances A plus B, right? So A plus B will combine with each other to form the C as the new compound. Nothing but this is the product and these are the reactants. If the reactants have combined, for example, A is of 20 grams and B is of 30 grams, then how much you expect the mass of C? Yes, the mass of C will be, should be 50 gram, because these two reactants are of 50 gram. How much the reactants are there? The same we are getting in case of the product. Because these mass, while converting, it has not lost in any form, no gaining in any form. How much is there? The same amount has converted to another form. Can you understand? A plus B is in another form, one form, right? Which has converted into C. So how much mass of A and B is there? The same mass of C we expect, because mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. Just it can be converted from one form to another form. Right students? So this is called as law of conservation of a mass. Take down the law. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. Right? Okay. The second law, law of constant proportions. This is given by the scientist Joseph Proust. The scientist Joseph Proust, he said us about the law of constant proportions. What is law of constant proportions? Imagine students, let us take the example of the water. Okay, water formula is H2O. So you have taken the water. How much? I am not telling the number of atoms. Number of atoms is 2:1 you used to say. I am not talking about the number of atoms. Here we are going to discuss the atomic ratio, the mass ratio of this water molecule. Okay, so this water is combined with the hydrogen and the oxygen. It is with a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. So as you know, the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. And here you have 2 atoms. So multiply with the 2. So you are getting the atomic mass of hydrogen is 2. 2 into 1. So it is 2. Okay. Similarly, if you consider the oxygen. Oxygen atomic mass is 16. How many atoms you have, students, here? Only one atom. So 16 into 1, it is 16 only. Right? So what is the ratio for mass ratio of water? The mass ratio of the water is 2:16. Right? So if you simplify this 2:16, I can make it as 1:8. Right? So I can make it simplify and I can say as the mass ratio of the water is 1:8. What I can say here, law of constant proportion means you take any of these compounds, right? So it is made up of different types of elements. Their mass is equal with this. Their mass will be always in the same proportion. How much water you have taken? So that water is in the mass ratio of 1:8. You take any type of the water mass ratio is 1:8. It will be same. So this is called as law of constant proportions. Okay? Take down the law, students. In chemical substance, elements always present in definite proportion, you write, definite proportion by mass. Definite proportion by mass. Okay, so these elements are having a particular mass. In that proportion only they will combine to form any type of the chemical substance. So these are the two laws comes under law of chemical combination. The conservation law is given by the Lavoisier and law of constant proportion is given by the scientist Joseph Proust. Right, students? Students, nowadays the structure of atom, it is clear. As we know, atom is the smallest particle, and in the atom we find the three types of the particles called proton, neutron and the electron. How they are arranged, that all we know. But when they used to discover all this, more complications were there. So to give solution for all these complications comes one more scientist called as John Dalton, and he set about the atom, and his theory is known as Dalton's atomic theory. It is known as Dalton's atomic theory. He set about his own ideas about the atom called as postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. What he said, the first one, all matter is made of, take down, all matter is made of very tiny particle called atom. So what Dalton said, you take any of the elements, any of the matter and all, if you check, at last it is made up of very tiny, means very small, the smallest particle of that element, and he said that it is a atom. So this is the first postulate of Dalton's atomic theory. The second one, atoms are indivisible. You cannot further divide the atoms. Why you can't divide? According to Dalton, it is, students. Why you can't divide? Because he said the atom itself is the smallest particle, so you cannot divide it further, he said. But afterwards, you know, last year you have discussed, they discovered what are all the particles present in an atom, how they are arranged, that all we know, right? But according to the Dalton, what he said, atoms are indivisible particles. They cannot be created nor be destroyed. Okay, so that is the second postulate. The third one, atoms of a given element are identical. Let us take the example of the gold, students. Gold is one element made up of the size, everything will be similar because these are all of the same element. Identical means same element. Hope you are understanding. Atoms of a given element. So gold is a given element now. If you check the atoms of the gold, they are identical in their mass and the chemical properties. This atom is similar with this is similar. That is what we are going to call as the gold atoms. Iron atoms. Take the iron element, check out the atoms. All the atoms are with the same size, same chemical properties, same mass. So we can say, right? So that is the third property, or we can say third postulate. Coming to the fourth one, atoms of different elements. Atoms of different elements have different mass and the chemical properties. Let us take the example of gold and iron. Gold element is made up of gold atoms. Iron is made up of iron atoms. So do you find this atom and this atom are same? No, its mass is different, its chemical properties are different. You take another like copper or something else, its element atoms are with a different mass and chemical properties. Right, students? So what is the fourth postulate? If you consider the different elements, atoms of different elements have different masses and the chemical properties. If you consider only one gamete's atoms, if you compare all are same. If you consider different types of the elements, their atoms, properties and the masses are different. Fine? Yes. Next one, atoms combine in the ratio of a small whole number to form a compound. Take the example of water. To form this, what we are getting? Hydrogen plus oxygen. So when they are combining with each other, two or more types of atoms, when they combine with each other in a definite proportion, they will form a compound. Right? Carbon plus oxygen to form carbon dioxide. When two or more elements are combined in a definite proportion to form a compound. That is the next postulate given by the scientist Dalton. Next one, the relative number and the kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. See, it may be the hydrogen, it may be in the water, it may be in some other compound. If you check the relative atomic mass of a hydrogen, it is same in all the compounds. It is fixed. Right? It may be the water, it may be hydrochloric acid or something else. So whichever the compound you take, the relative atomic mass of all the elements is fixed. Right? So these are the postulates given by the scientist Dalton. Hope you are understanding, students? Yes. Remaining we will continue in our next class. Take down today's home assignment. Write the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Write the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Go through the textbook, students, once you will understand. Any doubts if you have, we will clarify the online classes, right? Okay, thank you.